Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. All right, so one of my friends, my subscribers, and is actually one of my internet training members, you guys see this come out all the time. I am an internet entrepreneur. I chose to leave everything. I was an investment banker for 25 years. I chose to leave an industry that was no longer in alignment with me, with my vibration, with my frequency. And when I did that, my life completely changed. I learned how to use the internet because I still have to make a living. But I want to do it on my terms. I want to be able to do the things in life that I love. So I have a lot of members, people that learn the internet training. They can create businesses, they can do affiliate marketing, they can do internet marketing of any kind. They're just learning how to use tools to create any business online. Are you limiting yourself? I want to talk today about manifesting on a lower frequency versus the high frequency. So somebody says to me, one of my members said, beautiful girl, you know who you are. I keep manifesting on a lower frequency. I always do that, frequency. And then I say, well, you can manifest on a lower frequency. Guess what? Because you're always manifesting. You're always manifesting. And she asked why I said that never really works out. She's always manifesting a low frequency. But I said it ultimately doesn't work out for good. So what does that mean? All right, so let me explain a little bit. You're always manifesting. What you manifest, just look at what you're manifesting. You'll be able to know, and you can feel it if you're manifesting on a lower or higher frequency. So you could do some incredible things. Yeah, you could be president of the United States. You could be the king of Europe, like Hitler was. No, he wasn't a king, I know that. When you're resonating on a low frequency and your intentions are not positive, ultimately the things that you're manifesting will topple over. Why? Because anybody else or anything that's on that frequency is egotistically based. So what it's doing is not looking out for other people or anything else. So it's always going to be in conflict with everything else. When you're up here, you're with people who want to give to you, love you, will put you first. And you're doing that. And everybody else up there on that frequency is doing that. So it's such a giving, loving, there's no ego-based that's going to want to damage or hurt you. When your frequency is down here and you may manifest with the other people, yeah, money, 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 but as soon as you get more than they do, they may steal from you or take from you. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get this now? You can get the money, but if you're done, I wasn't a finance man. I gotta tell you, stuff I saw was mind-blowing. People would do anything. They would hurt other people. Some were breaking the law. I don't want to taint the finance world because there's a lot of really awesome stuff going on out there. Like the guys that manage my portfolio. But my point is that they are on a higher frequency. So when they manage that portfolio, they genuinely are caring about the people whose money they manage. Then there are people like Bernie Madoff, who ran a hedge fund, who appeared to be Mr. Fabulous, making people all this kind of money, but ultimately, and it wasn't even about the money. He had so much money at that point, it's like it was irrelevant. I think it's because he just could, and his power and his ego were so far out there on such a low frequency, he just couldn't get enough of the power and the taking. I think his soul somewhere was off, and that he was 100% density here. That's manifesting on a lower frequency. You can do it, of course, you're always manifesting. So people say, well, I'm not getting what I want, because you are in the lower frequency believing that you can't get it. So you're manifesting that. And then there are people that believe they can get it, but they have greed and power in mind, and that's manifesting on a lower frequency and receiving it. But ultimately, doesn't make them happy. A lot of them get depressed. Some people kill themselves because they have no meaning in life and they have everything. You'll be like, oh, they had everything. No, they didn't, obviously. Humans think that you have a bunch of material items, you have everything. No, you don't have everything, right? What's everything? You've got it already. You have everything. There's nothing that can hurt you. Nothing can harm you. Nothing can harm you. Nothing can harm you. You got it? Chop my body up in a million pieces. That's not me. I am indestructible. I am everything. And so are you. You're just having an experience here. You chose this, right? I chose this. I had a mission. I just shared this. I was on a retreat with my internet marketing people. I shared something that I shared with you, my 2 million viewers, but I didn't share, I've never really shared with very many people in person, and that was I had a visitation from one of my masters who showed up in a dream where I was going into a beautiful Roman temple that was beautifully lit, and there's pools of water around and walkways, and I was going in to really put my order in for abundance. This is when I first was quitting investment banking, getting ready to quit. I was going to go into this new life, and I was going to create this total, beautiful, abundant life for myself, away from investment banking. And that was all about me. I'm a very giving, loving person, but you know, my goals were about me, as everybody else usually focuses on, right? You have the giving and the loving, but ultimately you want to take care of yourself, and you should take care of yourself first, right? So I'm going to go into this temple, you know, people were on their knees in the water, splashing the water. I got in there, splashing the water. I'm like, yeah, get me in there, get me in there. Abundance, abundance. So this really good looking guy like Sean Connery shows up in a white robe. They're always in a white robe. And said, are you ready to go in? I said, yeah. Happy life, abundance, yes. And he said, you know, it chooses you. Abundance chooses you. You don't choose it. What? Does that make sense to you? Did you know that? It makes sense to me now. Abundance chooses you. You know why? Because you have to be on its frequency. So if abundance is here and you're down here, if you're here, it chooses you. In other words, you have to be on its frequency. That's all. That's all. I went, okay, now that makes sense. You don't choose it like, oh, I'm in a lower frequency and I'm choosing abundance. You can't do that. It has to choose you. You have to be on its frequency. So then I'm like, okay, I didn't get that at the time, by the way. So then he says, before you go in, I have something to show you. I went, okay, yeah, whatever. So he turns me around, and there's just millions of people walking around, not paying any attention, just millions and millions of people just walking around. And I touched his robe, and I got to experience what he was experiencing. And it was love beyond your imagination for these people. I got to feel what he felt for all of those people. And it was so beautiful. And I felt that. And you know, when you walk around, you see people, you're not going, oh, I feel so much love for that person. But that's what I was getting to feel. I felt this unconditional caring and love for all of these individuals, regardless of who or what they were. I got to experience that. And all of a sudden, everything had a different meaning for me. And I went, damn it! I'm going to have to do something higher. That's why I'm here. And my life completely changed. And I found internet marketing. That was not a coincidence that I was giving the tools and the training that were going to help me do this. And now I'm creating another business where I'm going to do online courses and do events and make a difference in this world in massive ways. And that's using the internet. You know, everything can be used for good or negative. Everything. You get to choose it. So, you could even be resonating on a higher frequency, but you still get to choose what you do with your life. So if you are manifesting and you're bringing all kinds of stuff in, but you're not feeling good, you're manifesting on a lower frequency, and that's all it means. And ultimately, it's going to not work out in a positive way because there's no purpose behind it. There's no positive drive behind it. And that's okay. That's okay. You may get all this stuff and sit in your house and go, I'm freaking miserable. And then you give up all your stuff. I've seen people do that. And I know some extremely wealthy people who have now switched over to some things that mean something to them. And it's not about, think about this. How many people working so hard and they don't see their family and they're miserable and they're exhausted. They come home to get a piece of equipment, a metal thing that sits in their driveway that carts them around to get a car, maybe an expensive one. Isn't that ridiculous? That we work so hard to get a material item, a thing. All that stuff will come to you. If you are in alignment on the higher frequency, you'll get the higher manifesting happens up there, which means you can have anything you want. But here's what will happen when you do that. You're manifesting stuff you truly love. You feel really good about it. You feel really good about it. Yeah, it's like, wow. And then it's not the Ferrari. Maybe it's, some smaller car, or you can have it or not. See, those things are not an indication of your spiritual involvement. Because you can manifest anything. It's just what happens is when you go on that higher frequency, it really doesn't have any importance anymore. It's like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but you don't really care. You just don't care because you're so happy. You're happy and you realize that none of those things are the reason for your happiness. So if you're manifesting on a lower frequency, if you're manifesting the ideal relationship and that person is abusive or they're gorgeous, but they treat you like crap, you've manifested on a lower frequency. You're coming from a place of materialist power, ego. So you're manifesting like crazy. You may get up, 101 good-looking rich people to, date. But the lower frequency is there's no meaning behind it. It's just all the materialism. There's no depth to that. When you manifest up here, you'll probably get a really good looking, wonderful person that treats you really, really well and may have a lot of money or not. It won't matter because you can be so happy in that relationship. And all of a sudden that stuff doesn't matter because sometimes that stuff gets in the way. Not always, but it can. Why? Because people on a higher frequency don't need it to be happy or to manifest abundance. They don't need it. So, yes, you can manifest tons of stuff on a lower frequency because you're always manifesting. Why? Because you believe you can have it. The intentions behind it determine the frequency. If you're not manifesting anything, you're just believing in lack. You're coming from the ego. You're telling yourself a story. You're believing the crap. And you're telling yourself all kinds of stuff that you believe is true. Let it go. Let it all go. Pick the highest frequency. Pick feeling good. Pick loving other people. Pick having positive thoughts. Choose meditation every day. Go into that space. And know that you are absolutely, purely, beautifully loved. Beautifully loved. I experience it. I know what it feels like. And that's how we are loved. In such an incredible, vast way. You're never alone. Ever. It may seem like it. That's because you're not connected to what you are. And if you're feeling that, then it's time for you to sit down and start meditating every day. And when those thoughts come through, you don't react to them. Don't get frustrated. Eventually they'll fade away and you're going to know that you don't have to have a thought. You don't even have to say a word, because the depth of love and power and brilliance of what you are is beyond your imagination. Don't let this material world dictate anything different to you. You just forgot who you were, because you wouldn't be able to experience and break through and do all the things that it comes with being human. If we were perfect light beings, we wouldn't have to come down here, right? Right? We wouldn't, if we did that while we were here, there would be no human experience. Because being human includes being dense. It's a dense planet. Enjoy this ride. Be great. Because you are. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings, abundance, joy, peace to you, my friend. It's all there. Send that out every day to the universe. That is you. Namaste.